Hello fellow YouTubers, in this video I'm going to be doing an unboxing of this ASUS notebook. Model of this one is, I hope you guys can see it, X501a. Now the usual ASUS box, cardboard, pretty simple packaging, so not much on it. In terms of the specifications guys, this is their lowest end, so let's get it started. Alright, and I'm back. So there's all the contents of the packaging, as you see, very minimalistic. We have the warranty card, we have the Windows 8 user guide, handy to have for those who are migrating to new OS, and user manual in this nice seal. There's your power cord, there's the charger, which is a bit unusual shape. Looks like so. AC adapter, 19 volts, 3.4 amps, that's what it needs. And there's a battery. Battery pack is 4400 milliampere hours and at 10.8 volt, and the model is A32X401. So that's that. Next, suppose let's have a look at the notebook itself. Now, I wouldn't quite call it an ultrabook because it's not officially that, but as you see, it's quite thin. Very sleek looking machine from the outside anyway. Very strange coating here. It's not, no guys, if you can see it, it's not textured. It just has this kind of like a wallpaper, whatever you call it, on it. Windows 8. Now this is new thing for those of you who are migrating from other OS. As you see, Windows 8 no longer includes the serial number, so it's tied up to this machine pretty much. So there's your, where you put a battery in. There's a lock mechanism for the battery. Release and lock. Pretty basic. And tons of vents and nuts and bolts to unscrew for upgrades. Now here we have Kensington slot, charging slot, USB 2.0 and the vent. And on the right hand side we have microphone slash headphone audio in and out, all in one, nice to have one. USB 3.0, HDMI, that's your LAN port, looks like so. This is pretty standard feature for the thin notebooks, laptops and whatnot. SD card reader, could support Sony memory stick as well, not 100% sure. And the VGA port. On the back, as I showed you before, there's not much, and on the front you just have LEDs. So once you open the laptop, it looks like so. Very sleek looking machine. As we see, Intel inside logo, cool technology. That's one of the ASUS thing. It actually does work. Basically, where you're keeping your hands, it's not heating in this area. It's heating up on the bottom or somewhere here, so it's not uncomfortable. Alto-Lansing speakers, stereo speakers. They are on the bottom, by the way. And here there is the power on and off button. Very futuristic design. In terms of flex, very little flex in the middle, which is nice. Little bit flex on the keys, probably you guys can see it. Not sure if it's a good thing, but anyway, it's there. Huge touchpad with the clickety-click buttons. And yeah, that's basically it. One thing to note about the keyboards is it's a full keyboard layout. So you have the numeric keys as well as your QWERTY layout. And you have a screen with the webcam and the microphone integrated. So let's power this bad boy up. And I'm back. I actually went through the basic Windows procedures, which is basically just putting your username and things like that. It didn't install anything at all. So now after I've switched it off, we're going to see how long it takes to boot. Now I did notice the laptop is quite a quiet machine and cool enough, although I haven't used it that long. But one thing that really surprised me is it only draws 24 watt from the wall. I actually put into a watt meter. There we go, we already have it on. I put a watt meter and I clocked 24 watts tops. So that was pretty nice. There we go, it's connected now to the internet, and yep, we're back on. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go through how the application starts and things like that. Basically, as you see on the desktop, these are the applications that we have. If I to go on to the start menu, this is how you would see it normally. And these are the applications that are there, at least on my version. Because if you guys buying it in States or Asia or anywhere at all, Canada, South America, Australia, it might be completely different. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'm going to just go straight into benchmarks. I'm going to come back to you, explain to you what benchmarks I ran and show you the results. And I'm back. So I have all the benchmarks already done now. I specifically left this cable connected in. What I've done is I connected my laptop to a monitor, and that way I ran all the tests on 1080p. Now some of the tests were 1080p, but I wanted to make sure that the resolution of the screen is 1080p in case some tests would run that way, and I'm gonna go into details a bit later. Now here's information about the CPU. So it's the IvyBridge platform, 35 watt TDP. Actually, while running these benchmarks, I was very surprised once again. The power usage was 32 watt and the laptop was very cool. It's still cool to the touch, and I didn't hear the fan going mad or anything like that. So it's handling itself pretty well. By the way, it's 1.8 gigahertz. I said it's 1.5. It's actually 1800 megahertz CPU, so it's faster than what I expected. And here are some details. So it has a 2 megabytes cache. It's dual core. Let's see some information there. Mainboard, memory, 4 gigabyte memory, 1 slot occupied. I don't think there's any more slots on this, unfortunately. And Intel HD graphics. So first test I ran was passmark, and I got 969.1 points. And just to show you the results in details, in case you're interested, so CPU mark was nearly 2000, which nearly equals to Core 2 Duo running at 3 gigahertz. So as you see, pretty capable CPU for Celeron. Graphics mark obviously would be kind of below NVIDIA GT 630. In terms of the memory, it wasn't too bad. It was in between kind of 4 gigabytes Kingston DDR2 and 8 gigabytes Samsung DDR3, so not too bad. This mark once again wasn't too bad. It's roughly equal to Western Digital WD5000 AAKS model, 500 gigabytes. So once again, not too bad at all. In terms of other 3D marks, I've done Unigine Heaven benchmark, basic edition. So the settings were like so: quality high, DirectX 11, tessellation moderate, stereo 3D disabled, multi-monitor disabled, anti-aliasing disabled, full screen, and resolution was used system, which was 1080p. Obviously, result was, as you see, very low. Once again, this is an integrated graphics solution, so not much is to be expected. And once again, you can see some details there. Intel graphics driver used is 9.17.10.2884. Now guys, I didn't look for the new drivers for Intel simply because there isn't that much of an improvement. Intel isn't really optimizing drivers like NVIDIA or AMD are. It's not their kind of concern. I switched off antivirus and firewall, by the way, while I was testing, and I switched to flight mode, so there was no wireless on. And I made sure that automatic updaters were switched off, so there was nothing running in the background. Cinebench was the next one I've done there. OpenGL is 9 FPS and CPU is 1.42 FPS. So obviously faster than most CPUs, but once again, this is budget CPU, and at the same time, it's only running 32 watts, so pretty amazing as it is. So yeah guys, these are the benchmarks. I didn't really install Steam and try to do any game benchmarks because simply it's not a gaming laptop. You can run some simple games, but you'd be limited to what you can do. But anyway, this is my review. I think it's really nice notebook for the price anyway. It's probably the cheapest notebook out there with Windows 8 and half decent CPU. And yeah, expandability is limited. It has no CD or DVD drive, but once again, I'm not using one. If you need one, there's a USB and there's USB 3.0 as well for the faster access. There's a card reader like always. Sleep and shutdown is quite fast. I'm actually going to shut down the computer while I'm rattling through the conclusion. It's running cool. It's running quiet. The power adapter is somewhat fancy, I would say. There you go. It's powering off. So the power draw is very, very minimal. It's nearly there. What else? Windows 8 operating system is a disaster. It's off. In my opinion, it's really an operating system that shouldn't be there because it's not a tablet optimized and it's not a laptop optimized either. So I don't know where it fits in terms of the grand scheme of things, but Microsoft wanted to release it, so what can you do? So yeah, that's my review. If you liked the review, click the like button and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them at the comment section down below. And as always, have a nice day.